Venus just moved into Libra about an hour ago, and today is an important day because both Venus goes into Libra and Pluto stations direct. So I'm going to talk about those two things. So I'll start off with Venus. Venus has been through the ringer as it was in its fall debilitation in Virgo, and this past weekend we had a Venus opposition to Saturn. So Venus stuff has been kind of tough, and so it's great to have Venus finally back in a good place where it does well, namely its domicile Libra, which is one of its homes. The thing about Venus entering Libra this year is that there's no, the nodes have moved to Virgo Pisces, so there's none of that nodal stuff going on. And then also, it's the first time we're having Venus opposite Neptune with Venus in Libra, because it immediately, it's now approaching an exact opposition with Neptune. And that's part of this Grand Trine that we are currently starting to deal with regards to Venus it's actually a Kite configuration, because Venus in Libra is now trine the Pluto and Aquarius and the Uranus in Gemini, but it's facing in opposition to that Neptune and Saturn. So it looks like a kite in the skies. And basically this trine facilitates easier, lighter communication and offers opportunity for reaching agreements about peace and harmonious coexistence. And what's interesting to me is, we recently had Venus, when it was going through its tough times, it conjoined the South Node in Virgo, and that around that time is when we got this peace deal in Gaza, and we're still seeing how that's playing out, but we're now in Venus in Libra, and so I think the great thing about Venus in Libra is it is a yang sign. Libra is a cardinal sign, and I think it'll be easier to communicate what you want and what you need. And also, this is going to be a good time for compromises and negotiations, namely, because that's in the domain of Venus in Libra. So things you may notice is relationships and social life smoothing out, because Venus in Libra favors charm, diplomacy, and getting what you want through grace rather than force, with a stronger focus on partnership dynamics. This collaboration over competition, as I mentioned, because this transit invites cooperation. Venus in Libra is a sweet spot for dating, reconnection, and romantic opportunities, as well as aesthetic upgrades. Beauty, balance, and refinement can take center stage. Think of decorating, styling, art, and generally elevating your environment. And then harmony and balance is also a priority. Venus in Libra loosens that tight focus that we felt when it was in Virgo, and invites more ease and social grace and relational give and take. So use it to your advantage to renegotiate terms, seek win-wins, and aim for fair compromises, and then plan dates and social events, because the vibe is romantic and cooperative. So make the most of it and beautify your space or wardrobe, and lead with charm and diplomacy, because you'll get further with grace than with pressure right now. So those are things to keep in mind with regards to this Venus, which is now in Libra. Okay, so now let's talk about the Pluto stationing direct. Now this one, because it's an outer planet, and when it slows down, like Pluto was retrograde since May. So it was going backwards, or at least that's what it looks like to us. That's why we say retrograde. But, it goes back and then it stations, meaning it slows down and stays at the same position, which it's been doing now for about a week. And so it's technically moving forward now, but you're not, for all purposes, let's just say that it's stationed, it's stationary. It's not moving at all, because in order to change direction, it has to stop, make a complete stop, right? So that's where we are with that. And the thing about Pluto stationing direct is that we've been feeling these inner rumblings with regards to the power dynamics that Pluto represents. And so right now, as any planet, when it stations, you feel that planet more intensely. And so Pluto represents intensity. And so over the coming weeks, we're gonna feel profound changes in our lives. And the thing is, it's more externalized and direct. So it's easier to actually make changes that we want to. Like we're less likely to brood over the changes that we feel we have been thrust upon, and more likely to take things into our own hands and make necessary changes. So one way to look at it is that it is going to be easier to actually go out and do the work that we need to do. Because let's look at it like this. So the station itself is the focal point where the internal pressure reaches its peak, and that's where we're at right now. So imagine a deep sea diver who has been exploring a deep abyss. That would be the Pluto retrograde. The station is the moment that they stop on the seafloor, having found what they were looking for and preparing to ascend. The truth of the situation, the core issue at hand, becomes undeniable and crystal clear. There's no more room for avoidance, denial, or illusion. The bottom line reality is exposed. The station direct is the pivot point from internalization to externalization. The soul has processed the necessary information during the retrograde and is now mandating action in the external world. So during the retrograde, you feel the need for change. You think about it, you struggle with it internally. And then at the station direct, a decision is made consciously or unconsciously. The die is cast. And then during the direct motion, meaning after about a week or so, you begin to act on that decision, implementing the necessary transformation in your life. And in evolutionary astrology, it's not just about making a change. It's the soul is demanding the elimination of old patterns, beliefs, or situations that are blocking its forward growth. So the station is the moment the soul says, this must end now so that we can evolve. The action taken is directly linked to fulfilling a core evolutionary purpose for this lifetime. So when it stations direct in your chart, it signifies that a period of deep, often confusing and painful internal reflection is ending, and it's time to act on the truths that you've uncovered. So you might experience a moment of profound clarity after months of feeling stuck or uncertain about a major life issue. The path forward suddenly becomes clear. You know what you have to do, even if it's terrifying. And this is when people finally quit the soul-crushing job and the toxic relationship and move across the country or confront a deep-seated fear. The internal struggle gives way to external action. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, but maybe I'll do that in another video. But that's what we have for now. So use these energies to make those changes, and also remember the Venus in Libra as a counterpoint to maybe do it with cooperation and do it with gentleness. So that's what I got for you guys. I hope you all are well. Feel free to put your chart information below, like your ascendant, and I'll tell you where this is, how this is going to take effect for you. Peace out.